The message was supposed to go to her sister. Not him. Not the most dangerous man in the city. Isabella Marino stared at her phone the moment she hit send. The ultrasound image sat above a simple caption. 8 weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do. And beneath it, the wrong contact name. Matteo Rinaldi. Her stomach dropped harder than it had the day she saw the 2 pink lines. No. No. Matteo Rinaldi wasn't just an ex. He wasn't just a powerful businessman. He was a man people whispered about. White. 34. Ruthless. Controlled. A strategist who ran the city's underworld with terrifying precision. And he had ended things with her 6 months ago with one sentence. I don't do attachments. Her hands trembled as she tried to delete the message. Too late. The read receipt appeared. 3 dots. Typing. Stopped. Typing again. Stopped. Then finally, a single message came through. Where are you? Her pulse pounded. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Her brain raced through scenarios. Denial. Excuse. Claim it was someone else's. Lie. Her phone buzzed again. Answer me. Another vibration. Incoming call. Matteo. She stared at the screen. If she declined, he would come. If she answered, she would have to speak. She pressed accept. Silence filled the line. Not breathing. Not background noise. Just silence. The kind Matteo used intentionally. Explain, he said finally. His voice was calm. Too calm. It was sent by mistake, she said quickly. I can see that. Her throat tightened. It wasn't meant for you. That's not what I'm asking. Silence again. Then. That's my child. Not a question. A declaration. Her chest tightened. You don't know that. I know the dates, he replied evenly. I know you weren't seeing anyone else. That doesn't give you the right to. To what, he cut in. Acknowledge my child. She swallowed. You said you didn't do attachments. And you assumed that men I'd ignore blood? The shift in his tone was subtle, but unmistakable. Possessive. You walked away, she reminded him. You let me. You told me you weren't built for domestic life. I'm not. Then what are you doing? I'm correcting an error. The word sent a chill through her. I'm not an error. You're not, he said immediately. The mistake was thinking I could separate desire from consequence. Her breath faltered slightly. He continued. Where are you? I'm not telling you. Isabella. The way he said her name made her knees weaken. Controlled. Firm. Certain. I don't need you, she said. That wasn't your message. She closed her eyes. He was right. Her caption wasn't defiant. It was scared. I don't know what I'm going to do, he repeated quietly. That's what you wrote. That was private. It stopped being private the moment you sent it. There was a knock at her apartment door. Her blood ran cold. You didn't. I'm downstairs. Her heart slammed against her ribs. You can't just show up. I can. Of course he could. I'm not letting you in, she whispered. Then come down. No. Isabella. The tone changed again. Less command. More warning. You don't make decisions about my child alone. Her hand instinctively rested over her stomach. 8 weeks. Still small. Still fragile. Still unreal. You don't get to claim something just because it carries your DNA, she said. I'm not claiming, he replied evenly. I'm assuming responsibility. You don't know how. Then I'll learn. The elevator in her building dinged. He wasn't waiting anymore. He was coming up. She moved quickly toward the door, just as a firm knock echoed through the apartment. Not aggressive. Not desperate. Measured. She opened it. And there he stood. Tailored black coat. Dark hair perfectly in place. Sharp jaw. Eyes locked on hers. Then slowly. To her stomach. You're pale, he observed calmly. You're insane, she replied. He stepped inside without invitation. Not rudely. But inevitably. The air in the apartment shifted instantly. His presence always did that. Commanded space. Controlled oxygen. Show me, he said quietly. I'm not a courtroom exhibit. The ultrasound. Her hand tightened around her phone. You don't get to demand. I'm not demanding, he said. He held out his hand. Waiting. She hesitated. Then handed him the phone. His eyes scanned the black and white image carefully. Expression unreadable. That's my child. He had said it so easily. Now. He studied the proof like it was a blueprint. 8 weeks, he murmured. Yes. And you weren't going to tell me. I didn't think you'd care. He looked up sharply. That was your second mistake. She folded her arms defensively. You made it very clear that you don't want complications. I don't. Then this is one. No, he corrected. This is consequence. He stepped closer. Not threatening, but near enough that she felt the heat of him. You thought I'd walk away again. Yes. His jaw tightened. I won't. You don't get to decide that alone, she said. This child is mine. It's also mine. I'm aware. Silence thickened between them. Charged. Not romantic. Strategic. What are you planning? She asked cautiously. He didn't hesitate. Doctor appointments. Security. Financial stability. She scoffed softly. I don't need your money. It isn't about money. It's always about power with you. He stepped even closer. And you think this is about power? Her pulse spiked. Then what is it about? His gaze dropped briefly to her stomach. Then back to her eyes. It's about blood. The intensity in his voice made her chest tighten. He wasn't excited. He wasn't panicked. He was resolved. I'm not moving into your estate, she said firmly. I didn't ask you to. You're not controlling where I live. I won't. You're not dictating how I raise. I won't, he repeated calmly. She blinked, thrown off by the consistency. You won't. No. Then what do you want? He studied her carefully, like he was choosing each word deliberately. I want to be present. Her breath caught slightly. You didn't want that before. I didn't understand what I was walking away from. And now I do. She searched his face for deception, for manipulation, for control disguised as care. But what she found instead was something far more dangerous. Determination. I won't let you erase me from this, he said quietly. And I won't let you dominate it. His lips curved slightly. Then we negotiate. Her heart pounded. Because negotiations with Matteo Rinaldi were never simple. And this wasn't a business merger. This was a life. You sent the message by mistake, he said. But I don't believe in accidents. She didn't respond. Because deep down, a part of her had wanted him to know. And now, the man who once said he didn't do attachments was standing in her living room, claiming fatherhood like it was destiny. And she didn't know if that made her safer or more vulnerable than ever. Isabella didn't sleep that night. Matteo had left eventually, not because she asked him to, but because he had what he came for, confirmation. Before stepping out of her apartment, he paused at the door. I'll have a car here at 9 tomorrow, he said calmly. I didn't agree to anything. You don't have to agree to a doctor's appointment. Her pulse spiked. You don't get to schedule my body. I scheduled a consultation with the best obstetrician in the city, he replied evenly. You can decline when the car arrives. And then he left, like a storm that chose restraint over destruction. At 8:57 a.m., the black car was downstairs. Of course it was. She stood at her window, staring down at it. Part of her wanted to ignore it, prove she wasn't controlled. But another part, the part that had panicked at the sight of two pink lines, wanted certainty, security, answers. At 9:03, she grabbed her coat. Not because he told her to, because she wanted to. The clinic was private, discreet, quiet. Matteo stood when she entered the waiting room. Dark suit, immaculate, as if pregnancy appointments were mergers to be handled with precision. You came, he said. I'm not doing this for you. I know. The appointment was thorough, professional. Ultrasound repeated. Heartbeat steady, strong. The doctor smiled warmly. Everything looks healthy. Isabella felt relief flood her system. Matteo didn't speak, but his hand tightened subtly at his side. When the monitor displayed the flickering heartbeat again, Isabella glanced at him. For the first time, his composure cracked. Just slightly. His eyes stayed fixed on the screen. Yes, the doctor said gently. That's your baby. Matteo exhaled slowly, like something monumental had just anchored him to earth. Outside the clinic, silence stretched between them. Not hostile. Heavy. You don't get to buy this, she said finally. I'm not buying anything. You're arranging doctors. Cars. Security. I arrange what I can control, he replied. This isn't one of those things. She stopped walking. What does that mean? It means I can't negotiate biology. The honesty startled her. You still don't want a domestic life, she said carefully. I don't want weakness. And a child is weakness? A child is leverage, he corrected quietly. She stiffened. Then why are you here? Because if anyone is going to protect that leverage, it will be me. She stared at him. You're talking about our baby like it's an asset. His jaw tightened. I'm talking about the world realistically. A black SUV slowed at the curb across the street. Matteo noticed instantly. His body shifted subtly. Protective. Alert. The vehicle continued past. But the message was clear. His world was always watching. You see, he said quietly. You think this is optional. It is, she shot back. You carrying my child makes it permanent. And you being the father doesn't give you ownership. I don't want ownership. Then what? He stepped closer, not aggressively, but close enough that his voice dropped lower. I want influence. Her breath hitched. That sounds worse. I want to influence the safety, the future, the protection of what's mine. There it is, she whispered. Mine. He held her gaze steadily. Yes. The word wasn't possessive in the way she feared. It was instinctive. You said you don't do attachments, she reminded him. I don't. And this isn't attachment, he said quietly. This is blood. The distinction mattered to him. She could see it. Attachment was vulnerability. Blood was responsibility. I won't move into your estate, she repeated. I didn't ask you to. I won't quit my job. I won't ask you to. I won't be hidden. His eyes darkened slightly. You won't be. She studied him carefully. You'll have enemies. I already do. They'll see me as leverage. They won't get close. You can't guarantee that. No, he admitted. But I can reduce the probability. She exhaled sharply. You talk about risk like it's a math problem. That's how I survive. And how will you survive this? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, his gaze drifted to her stomach again. I adapt. The wind picked up around them. Her coat fluttered slightly. His hand moved instinctively to steady her. Not controlling. Protective. She noticed. He noticed that she noticed. Neither commented on it. I'm not asking you to love me again, he said quietly. The words caught her off guard. I'm asking to stand beside you in this. Why? Because walking away once was miscalculation. And now it would be cowardice. Silence. Deep. Heavy. Honest. She searched his face. The man who once dismissed domestic life as distraction. The man who valued control above intimacy. Now standing in front of her. Willing to negotiate. Willing to adjust. Not because he was sentimental. Because he was decisive. If I say yes, she said carefully, this isn't temporary. I don't do temporary. And if I say no, he held her gaze. I won't disappear. That sent a chill down her spine. Is that a threat? It's a promise. She laughed softly despite herself. You're impossible. And you sent me the ultrasound. Her lips parted slightly. I told you that was a mistake. He stepped closer again, lowered his voice. You don't make mistakes like that. Her pulse betrayed her. Because deep down, he was right. A part of her wanted him involved. Even if she hated needing him. Fine, she said finally. One condition. Name it. You don't control this. I won't. You don't intimidate doctors. Or schools. Or anyone around this child. His jaw flexed slightly. But he nodded. Agreed. And if I ever feel unsafe? You leave, he said immediately. And you don't follow. A long pause. Then, I won't follow. The concession cost him. She saw it. But he gave it anyway. Then we do this, she said quietly. Together? She hesitated. Then nodded. Together. His hand moved slowly. Deliberately. Resting gently over hers. Then, cautiously. Over her stomach. Not claiming. Not demanding. Just present. The contact was different this time. Not possessive. Not strategic. Grounded. That's my child, he repeated softly. This time, it didn't sound like a declaration. It sounded like responsibility. Isabella realized something then. He hadn't changed into a softer man. He had redirected the same intensity, the same dominance, the same control, toward protection. And maybe that was enough. As they walked back toward the waiting car, side by side. Not lovers, not enemies, but partners in something irreversible. Matteo adjusted his pace to match hers. Not leading, not pulling, matching.